My apologies, I ran out of storage. So anyways, I was talking about the Privacy Act of 1974, and the rights that we have as citizens is to request our records that the federal acronym agencies store in their databases. We have the right to request a change to our records due to inaccuracy, relevance, timeliness, and completion. And we also have the right to be subject to Privacy Act exemptions. Not sure, I didn't go into detail with that, but if you want to look into it, there's some information. Also, there's Law 733A in parentheses, which says a licentiate shall not obstruct a patient in obtaining a prescription drug or device that has been legally prescribed or ordered for that patient. So, what I did find out from the lady at the men's shelter was that they were going to have a position for house mom once their women's shelter was up and running, which could be any time in the near future. But because I require cannabis, which is a sacred, natural, holistic herb that grows in the ground, plant-based medicine, I couldn't have that position and have shelter. Well, my cannabis was prescribed to me by my doctor in 2019. And yeah, I still to this day go without. I have no access to my medicine legally prescribed. Just wanted to put that out there. I'm all about justice at this point. I am sick of suffering. I am sick of struggling. And I'm sick of being ignored by every House of Representatives, county, this or that, agencies here, shelters there, churches here, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Nobody, the way I got the shelter's phone number is a cop pulled down the street and parked. And I was just like, I'm just going to walk up to him and just ask, and be like, hi, And I did. I walked up and I said, excuse me, officer, I'm homeless. Do you have any information on any shelters? Blah, blah, blah. He referred me to the only shelter in this county that only accepts men. Anyways, he tried. Not his fault. But, I would think anyone, especially someone who is an officer of the law, whose job it is to serve and protect, would have maybe gone above and beyond and said, there's this lady who's homeless and, she's not some whack job criminal or anything like that. Let me see if I can, talk to a couple people or make a few phone calls or, it's a police station, so maybe they have a few more resources than I have access to. I can't even call 211, the United Way, for a referral into any kind of maybe voucher program or anything because I have a Wi-Fi calling app on my phone and I literally cannot dial 211. So I'm like, can't win for losing, and I'm so sick of it. So I started writing and noise pollution. This is kind of where I'm at every day. Now, mind you, during all this, my eldest son decided to be a Satanist, which, God love him, he is the worldly Satanist, not the ritualistic blood drinking, sacrificial, none of that stuff. The Satanism that these kids and millennials are practicing today is more about self and ego and indulgence. The ways of the world, okay? It's not evil. Anyways, him and my middle son got vaccinated, so I'm dealing with that. My youngest son, who is 16, has a girlfriend who they have potentially or maybe not become intimate in certain ways, and I'm not very comfortable with these things and the lack of supervision that you know, the other parent lacks supervision. The astronomical and worldwide events such as the CMEs and the La Palma issue and solar flares and geomagnetic storms and agendas and politics that are going on right now. So there's a lot, and I'm going to do my part because I have lost everyone and everything I have ever loved. I have nothing left to lose or risk. So if they kill me, they kill me. If they cancel me, they cancel me. If they censor me, they censor me. If they silence me, they silence me. Oh well. I am not going to stop, and I'm just going to get louder. And this is what I've been doing on these court proceedings that are done virtually now and on YouTube. It'll be on any mainstream media. I attended Mark Zuckerberg's hearing for a couple of minutes, and whether people want to believe it or not, or perceive me as crazy or delusional, doesn't bother me. I know what I know, and I know what I know to be real and true and is actually happening. And I spoke my mind, and I'm going to keep doing it. And the same thing with Mr. Biden. Going to the Vatican yesterday and meeting with the Pope. And lo and behold, his wife, Biden's wife, company, was wearing a black veil. I made the comment, like the band, Black Veil Bride again. And the funny thing was, when Mr. Trump was in office, he and Melania went to the Vatican to see the Pope, and she also wore black veil. And so now I'm just getting to the point where I am direct and factual and speaking the truth, not taking any shit. They're not going to skirt around my questions. They're very specific. And you know, Mr. Biden and his wife and the Pope are all shaking hands, So I have to be an a-hole, and I'm saying to my screen, why don't you kiss the ring? Kiss the holy ring as it is proper to do in the Catholic faith. I was raised Roman Catholic. I know. And I got a little smirk. I saw a smirk. And then it really pissed me off because, yet again today, more babies and children are suffering and dying for various reasons. And they're giggling and laughing it up. So I voiced that. And I said, I'm glad you all think it's so funny while children are suffering and dying. Shame on you. Things like that. I've had enough. So, here's my writing. How can I keep up? Or even keep going? It just keeps going on. And on and on and on, never changing, but always changing up. This same old sad song. Broken-hearted, broken down, heartfelt hate. My mental state now. But that's just a cover-up to hide the pain inside. Loneliness is what I hide. Cursed from birth, it seems. Torment and shame fill my days. Can't remember my dreams. No wonder no one ever stays. Socially awkward, I panic. Played and abused, I'm jaded. Reclusive now and can't stand it, so sick of being degraded. Tortured, tricked, and tempted. It seems almost daily now. Guilty as charged, my sentence. I've got to break free, but how? Distant memories of the past, fading fast. I hold on to each one tightly. I will make these memories last, although I only see them nightly. And then I continued on a little after that with, it's been 10 years now since the day I cut my wrist. A decade has gone by, no longer want to die. I have so much to share with no one, anywhere. Can't give up old habits. Mad at myself. Had it. Tired of disappointing. Losing my anointing. Loneliness is fatal. Known this since the cradle. My whole life is a lie. In horror, I ask why. Reality's not real. Love I no longer feel. This is my whole problem. The poor one, they rob him of all his dignity. Only thing left is me. I hate being alone. Cold heart, just like a stone. That's as far as I got. And, okay, wanted to make sure a tick wasn't crawling on me. So, these are some of the things that, let me see, I can't see because of the sun. Nope, that's not going to work. La, 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 la. How can I do this? Oh, wait, can I switch? Of course, Samsung Galaxy, not user-friendly. I cannot switch my camera to rear view. Of course not. Anyways, I also keep up, like you all know, with innovations with artificial intelligence and space travel. And I listen to a lot of interviews so that I can just observe and gain what I need to gain from that. And I get so envious. Like, I'm so envious. I see all these musical artists and, you know, they're jamming together and collaborating and writing and making music together. And it's like, that's what I'm lacking, is the team, the collaboration in person. I need physical presence in person. This virtual shit is not going to work for me. I mean, it is thus far, but it's very uncomfortable and I don't really care for it. I like to have the energy exchange by having someone in my physical presence. So for instance, if I am singing and I have to hold my Bluetooth speaker, it's like annoying, you know, and I can't get in my zone. Or to have somebody sit there and we write and go back and forth. Well, what do you think about this track? You know, I need that. Or on the flip side, if it's not music, it's innovation. And I'm doing kind of both. I'm working on music and trying to virtually collab with, in different ways, with different musicians. which is so uncomfortable, hence my angel number meanings syncs that I got to overcome my insecurities. I have had a literal, not fear, phobia of stage fright since I was a kid. Literally, my whole life. That's why I'm like the behind the scenes, like anxiety, panic. I just, all my stupid, whatever they are, autistic mannerisms, and I'm self-conscious about that, and the emotional verbal outbursts that I can't control. So I'm like, I'm pretty much reclusive at this point anymore. I used to be introverted. Now it's borderline hermetism. But anyways, I figured, okay, if I can't ever get myself to the point where I could work with other artists and do music, which is a passion of mine, then I'm going to do something in a field that is going to somehow be a beneficial help, or just try to do something. I have my YouTube channel. Had that for a few years. I speak out against corruption and share my journey and things like that. I work on my music and try to do that. And then I'm also, in my own ways, trying to come up with my own innovations, because I'm pretty good at things like that. Not mechanical. I hate math. Like, if there's a complicated equation, I don't want to know any of the complication. Just give me the problem. I'll give you the solution. I just kind of skim. A to B. I don't want all the fluff and the meat, like all the details and the calculations. That's not for me. That's not my forte. So, you know, with rocket technology and electric vehicles and AI and different things, technology is not my strong suit. I'm not tech savvy. I'm computer proficient, but not tech savvy. So I don't code or anything like that. However, I do study DNA and molecular biology and things like that. So in a sense, that is kind of coding, just different. And like math, I hate math, but I love numerology, and I love gematria and things like that, sacred geometry and symbols and astrology and different things like that. I'm way out of Pandora's box. So that's why people usually either write me off or just ignore me totally, or have no belief in me at all, and absolutely no respect for me. I'm usually just kind of dismissed, or like, cuckoo, she's cuckoo. And I'm really not. I just think so way beyond that. Most people that I've known that have treated me that way just weren't able to perceive the things that I could perceive. So it sounded crazy or insane, but it's really just due to capability and limits and levels. That's all. My brain works a different way. That was my gift, and I am determined to turn my gift, turned lifelong curse, into something. Why would I have been gifted the mind that I have if not to use it? So I kind of dabble in different things. I don't like to limit myself to one subject area of study or one field of practice or anything like that. I like to learn. That's my passion, and I like to learn what interests me. So, with that being said, I, come up with some technologies that I think would work as far as rocketry or um, batteries or um, using sustainable energy like hydroelectric, electromagnetic, geothermal resources, wind, uh, solar. However, I am also a realist, and I do um, believe my visions and downloads and whatever they are, intuition, whatever they are, I don't know. Um, the gift of sight, of being able to see or perceive things that have not happened or occurred as of yet, but will. And I know, just based on studying ancient scripture and prophecy my whole life, coupled with uh, today's times and astronomical things, that yes, the sun, I can clearly tell now the plasma being ripped out of its corona, that the sun will probably at some point in the near future go dark. Um, will not shed its light. So in that case, I'm thinking ahead of, well, I'm not going to rely on solar technology, because if that were to occur, which in my opinion it will, that's a disaster waiting to happen. So I'm trying to come up with backup technologies like, laser and quartz crystal and just different things, light and sound and electrochemical. Yet, I find myself watching and listening to interviews by people in the field of space and technology and science, and I am just disregarded as some, non diploma holding nothing. So I'm at the point of, like I always say to everyone, even my advice, when I share truth and I try to encourage people to do their own research and come to their own conclusions, I don't ever try to force beliefs on anyone. But it's like what a good friend of mine from the past taught me is, this is what I say: take it, leave it, or throw it in the garbage. I don't care. I'm going to hand it because it's the right thing to do. And on top of that, I would think there would be some gratitude, because I'm not earning anything or making an income or oh, I got a visitor just came to see me. I'm not getting anything in return for the time and effort and brain power and work that I'm putting into these things that would probably, maybe, possibly, or maybe not be a valuable potential resource, even if to have on hand as backup in case another technology just doesn't work out. with that being said, I have kind of the most nerve-wracking week of my entire life coming up, beginning tomorrow. I am getting on a strict schedule, which I hate, but I need to do. And I'm determined to find somewhere, somehow, some way to get housed, a private dwelling for myself, where I can have privacy, peace, and that's that. Everyone else has these resources and tools and means and teams and transportation and access to and homes and vehicles and labs or studios, or I have me, my notebook, and my pen, and my Wi-Fi when it's not cutting in and out. And that's the thing, if I end up out in the woods and I have no Wi-Fi, what am I gonna, I got a lot on my shoulders as of late, and I'm not saying all this as a pity party. I'm just saying, I'm living, breathing proof here in 2021, October 31st, 2021, in the United States of America, that something's wrong when there is a mother and grandmother who is physically disabled and has some psychological issues, PTSD, anxiety, the autism thing, degenerative disc disease, to not have any social security but be at the mercy of the winter and the elements and the no safety. I'm not afraid of the unseen. I'm more afraid of human beings when I'm out on the streets. For all I have gone through and been shuffled around shelter to shelter, sleeping on park benches, sleeping in a porta potty, being degraded and humiliated, still without dental care, so my self-esteem is not having access or ability to afford my medicines, which I require, no social security, denied my disability claim 4 times in a row, in going on 5 years, yet I have every medical record to prove everything. I'm just so over the injustice. I'm ready at this point to just file a lawsuit against the entire United States government. Medical malpractice for the Morgellons last year and pushing me away, turning me away, and not getting any help with that, an almost near-death experience, which is documented and journaled on YouTube and other ways. The Housing Authority evicting me last September during the pandemic. Isn't that illegal? I thought so. But here I am, homeless. The family court in 2019, even though I hold equal rights with my ex to see the boys, I never see the boys. Not that it's anybody's fault. I don't have a home to bring them to. So, malpractice, the United States Government Housing Authority for signing off on an inspection that the property was deemed healthy and livable, which it wasn't, clearly, and then the eviction. during the pandemic. The federal government and or the military for not protecting against the chemtrails that are being sprayed, the PM 2.5 that's being sprayed in our skies for how long now? Most of us who are sky watchers, we have a lot of footage to back that up. And nanotech being involved and smart dust. So there's no regulation or oversight or insight into advancing technologies or the developers of those technologies. And it is a risk to humanity with nanofibers, Morgellons, and I've suffered enough. Well, back to the family court. You know, they never addressed the whole core issue, which was him taking the kids out of Florida without my knowledge or consent in 2013, which resulted in this clusterfuck we see here today. Now, the judge thought, well, they've been with him this long, they should stay living with him. Okay. So, if I don't have my kids, which are everything to me, and at least have the access to be able to see them and spend time with them and have that upheld, seeing as how I have a court order, my health and well-being by not having access to my medicines that I require, not having any social security, like a home, safety. I do blame my government for that. Each branch in the medical industry is at fault, and I've paid the penalties, the fees, the costs, the suffering, the struggling, the shame, the humiliation, the degradation, the pain. Put the time and effort in. Anyone with Morgellons knows on a daily basis what it takes just to maintain with those fibers and keep you from wanting to rip your skin off. No. I'm not a scumbag. I'm not a criminal. I'm not a low-life junkie. I'm not a failure. I'm not a whore. I'm not a loser. No. My dad was in Vietnam, putting his life on the line for all of us to have freedom and social security today. And I'm sorry he had to go fight in that made-up fake war for their war machine, money-making propaganda scheme. My dad's a good man and he's honorable, but when you get brainwashed by the military, you know, it causes a little bit of PTSD. And my family has had enough. Way beyond enough. So I'm thinking about doing that. And with that being said, there is a possibility that I will be silenced. You know, their good old murder-suicides. They go after the ones that speak out. So if I end up dead, I love you all very much. And know that I went out in integrity and did the best that I could with what I had. Peace, everybody.